What is no bottom shelf?
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 What is
no bottom shelf? What is it?
What's going on, good people? I would like to say hello and welcome to another episode of the No BS Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Jordan Pierce, aka Mr. No Bottom Shelf himself. Listen, I hope everybody had a good week. I know I had a good week. No, I had a good week. Filled with games. I got a couple more weeks left, I think, of games because we don't go in November. So sometime in the next week or two, I ain't gonna say free, but I should have a little bit more time to myself because these kids is running me crazy. But overall, man, had a good week. Can't complain. Kids happy, healthy. I'm happy, healthy. Spouse is happy and healthy. Yeah, man. We're just gonna get right into it. Like I said, hope everybody have a good week. I know I had a good week. Last week on the podcast, I talked about if you didn't listen, I talked about weaknesses, and I shared a little, I think I shared like 2 stories about like my weaknesses and how I understand that those are my weaknesses and how to stay away from them. So I'm gonna recap real quick. So basically, one of my weaknesses is I'm not good with my hands. Right, that's like kind of like my major. Like, in my opinion, that's like my main weakness. Like, for whatever reason, like I don't know how to explain it, but like I'm just not good with my hands. I'm not a handyman. Like, I would have to, like, it takes me way longer than it should take me to do certain things, if you know what I mean, when it comes to my hands. Would that be just simply putting something up, like a TV mount or something? I don't know. I'm just not good with my hands. For whatever reason, my brain and hands don't work that well that way. And I've always been that way. I just never really knew that and really understood that until I like grew up. Like college-ish is when I kind of really came to grips with, all right, I'm not good with my hands and I'm okay with that. No. I'm lying. I didn't become okay with it until like after I had kids. Like I only been okay with like not being good with my hands as if like maybe you talking maybe the last 5-6 years. And I'll be 32 in a couple months. Like, my whole life, I was like, not really okay with that. You know what I mean? So, that's one thing. But I have many. Like most people all have like multiple weaknesses. We either just don't want to admit to them. We don't want to agree with them. We try to fight it all the time. And like, who wants to be a weak person, right? So, but weaknesses are a good thing. It shows you who you are. Like, it's a ideal into no, not ideal. It's like a look into who you really are as far as it's your genetic makeup, right? Some people are athletic, some people are not, some people are good readers, some people are good writers, some people are good in school, some people are just not good in school. Some people, you know what I mean? Like me, I was a math person. Like I loved math. Like math was my favorite subject. I was good at math. Somebody like my spouse isn't that great at math. So like when it comes to the math homework and stuff like that, I do that with my kids. So that's one of my weaknesses. And I just share stories about how I tried to use my hands a couple times, like trying to fight the fact that I knew for a fact that I wasn't good with my hands. Well, the one time I didn't. One time I wasn't like, I was like, I think I could do it. And then the second time I had no business. I kind of knew like, but at the same, I needed money, so I had to do the job. You know what I mean? So, but I explained how those weaknesses, me knowing my weaknesses and still doing things to try to, be of service to people while using my weaknesses, whether it be trying to make them better or whatever. I'm utilizing my weaknesses, and it just didn't do any justice. Like it just allowed it allowed the situation to get worse because it's not in my wheelhouse. Somebody else should have been doing that. So that was last week. Talked about weaknesses. This week I want to talk about strengths because there's always another side to everything, right? Opposites. So the opposing side of the weaknesses obviously is your strengths. So for me, I share with another story. For me, I believe my strengths are I'm a very friendly, outgoing. I'm an extrovert. I'm a people person. I like being around people. I strive more when I'm around people, and I love being around family. I love being around friends. It's crazy because for the Like when I think back on it, when I say I was fighting my weaknesses all the time and like not wanting to admit that I had those weaknesses and trying to, I guess you could say, work on my weaknesses and get better at it. And I'm not saying, all right, let me real quick. I'm not saying you should never try to work on yourself and better yourself. And like if you struggle in a certain aspect of life, I'm not saying like try to make it better. I'm not saying to not, because you can. But if you're trying to make it better, if that's going to hinder your progress and harm or in some way hinder somebody else's progress or like not get the job done, you're not being of service to somebody because that's not your ministry, then I need you to stay away from it. So that's what I'm saying. You can work on your weaknesses. Like occasionally I still try to do a little stuff with my hands. If like it's all right, it's not harmful, no harm, no foul. But like if somebody posted on Facebook or something, hey, I need a handyman and it's paying, I don't know, $5,000. I just need 2 days. I could use $5,000 right now, but I'm not about to volunteer myself for that job because of the fact that I know for a fact I can't do that work. Like, you know what I mean? No matter what it is, like I know I'm not going to, whatever work it is, it's not, if you pay me $5,000, it's not, you're not going to get $5,000 worth of work. You're just not. Not from me anyway, because of the fact that I'm not a handyman. So that's what I mean. I will stay away from those situations. So as far as my strengths, I try to stay away from my weaknesses and I try to put myself in situations where I'm using my strengths all the time and being of service with my strengths. So I believe one of my strengths are, like I said, I'm a people person. I never looked at it as a strength until I took this flight assessment that ET and the guy, like his ET and Associates, his whole organization, how they put together this flight assessment. I took that a couple years ago, actually. Now it was like 2018, 2019. I want to say it was 2019, but I took that, and me taking that, I learned that is a superpower. Like being a people person, being an extrovert, being a somebody that they call being a flight attendant, being somebody that cares about the progress of or cares about the process of how we get to a place can be used as a superpower. So I'm a people person. I like to think that I'm the idea guy. So like that's another, I feel as though, strength of mine that I've noticed. Like I'll have ideas for days. I'll have ideas of how we're going to do certain things or how we should get to X, Y, and Z. But as far as the execution of that, like exactly how it's going to get done, that is not my ministry. And I know in the past I found myself trying to do that, trying to be the idea guy and the pilot. Like, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is my idea. This is what I think we should do. And then, all right, this is how we're going to do it. And it never worked out for me. But now that I know that I'm a people person and that I believe I have great organizational skills. Like as far as, like I said, I'm the idea guy. This is what I think we should do. And let's try to move forward. Now, somebody else needs to step in and say, okay, that's a great idea. This is how we're going to do it. So now I'm trying to use my voice a lot more and speak. Let my voice be heard. Because I am a people person and I can kind of talk to anybody, I'm always that person that I could be in a random place and just have a conversation with somebody random. I also believe that, you know how people, how some people say they have RBS, that rest in bitch face, or RBF. There you go. I say RBF, rest in bitch face. I don't have that. So like I'm a very approachable person. So like people just talk to me. So and I just have conversations with people and I can help people out, stuff like that. So I believe I've been able to help a lot of people out. People reach out to me to talk about certain situations and I give them my advice and stuff like that. So I try to utilize that more. So that's why I'm on a podcast now. I had a podcast before this podcast I started years ago. I brought it back, but this is a different version of it because of the fact that I understand where my strengths are now. That, and I try to, as far as like with my kids, normally, sometimes I'm not here all the time. As far as like I'm at work, stuff like that, busy. But when I can, I try to help them with their homework, both of them, because of the fact that I know, funny story, I think I shared this in my book. I'm not sure. But no. I shared this in the video before though. But so like my fiance, our strengths and weaknesses are different. So, not saying she can't help the kids with their homework. She can, but she's not. That's not her ministry. That is not her ministry at all. She finds herself a lot getting very irritated and annoyed very quickly, very agitated very quickly. So like she hates repeating herself, which we all do. I admit I hate repeating myself too. But she just has trouble when it comes to like really kind of getting through to the kids, right? Especially our daughter. Like getting through to her as far as this is what we're trying to do. Like I'm trying to teach you how to do this homework. Like, you know what I mean? And then that turns into like her being annoyed and agitated, and then that showing, whether it be just her face, her attitude changes, like just it's not her ministry. So then my daughter feels that, and then my daughter it's not beneficial for the homework. Where I step in and I can help her with her homework a lot better because of my personality and my plus that's daddy's little girl. But regardless of that, just the way I speak and how I speak. There you go. Like how I communicate. My communicational skills are different. So I believe that that's one of the ways that I try to use my strengths every day is just simply helping my kids with their homework. That way their mother doesn't have to do it because I already know how that's going to go. And I know that's not her strength. You get what I'm saying? So I think I found this out from the DISC assessment, like doing the flight assessment that I took. I found that out. And then two, one day I did see, or as my daughter got older in school and stuff like that, and we had to help her with her homework. Like it was a point in time where like I wasn't there in the afternoons, like as far as work. Like now, thank God I can be here. But it was a point in time where I had a job and I couldn't be there in the afternoon. So I wound up not being able to help her with her homework. And then like the days that I was off and I was there, since they already had like a routine, I kind of fell back, let them do it. But then I noticed that, oh snap, this is what's happening with the whole helping of homework process. And me and her mother had a conversation, stuff like that too. And then when I helped her, I noticed the difference. So, okay, boom. Now, if I'm available to help with the homework, which I have been, thank God, I help with the homework. So just like being aware of the situation and knowing, okay, this is my strength, and knowing, okay, how she is, so I know that's not a strength of hers, helped me realize, all right, this is something that I should be doing. So I wrote a book trying to help people get from point A to point B in their lives and help them be self-aware, help them use that to find their purpose. And then from their purpose, they're going to genuinely, I believe, be happy because they're doing something that just comes easy to them. They don't even have to think about it. It's in their wheelhouse. It is in their genetic makeup. So say all that to say, the ways that you find your weaknesses and strengths. I'm going to say this like I said last week. You can ask people, the people around you. You can, like, your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, whoever you hang out, even coworkers. If you're around your coworkers all the time, ask them, yo, what do you think my strengths and weaknesses are? Like, what are things that I'm good at? What things I'm bad at? Like, do weekly reports with your in your relationships with your spouse. Like, yo, do weekly, monthly, whatever reports. Hey, listen, what have I been great at this past month? What have I been lacking? Like, what do you think I'm good at and that I do just naturally? Like, anything that you can do just naturally that other people have like struggle with is your superpower. So utilize that. Make sure that you're doing something every day to kind of work in that atmosphere, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? So like me, like I said, simple as help my kids with their homework every day. I know that's something that's in my wheelhouse, and I do that, and I do it very well. Now, am I a teacher? Absolutely not. Could I teach? No, I don't ever want to be a teacher when it comes to like kids and stuff. But when it comes to helping my kids with their homework, and I've also helped like my brother, my nieces and nephews, stuff like that. I've helped people with their homework. Like, and it's not like, oh, I should be a teacher. I'm not saying that. It's just that's one of those things that I know how to understand things and then communicate that to somebody else so that they can understand it. So that's why I wrote a book. So I encourage you, like I said, I say all that to say I can encourage you to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are, And then when you find out what they are, use your strengths as much as possible. Use your strengths as much as possible and forget about your weaknesses. Just like I said, if you want to work on your weaknesses and it's not going to cause anybody any harm, then yeah, sure. Why not? Give it a shot. But if your weaknesses are causing harm or not benefiting the situation, whether it be you or the other person, then just leave it alone. Don't even work. Don't even waste your time. Focus on your strengths and try to find a way to utilize your strengths every single day. So if like you're a handyman, unlike me, that's the opposite of me. If you are a handyman, to try to find something that you're doing every day with your hands, whether it just be, I don't know, it could be just be doing little stuff around the house. It could be doing something of service for, okay, somebody need a TV mounted. All right, cool. I'm gonna go over here, give me $50. I'll put the TV up. Something stupid. You know what I mean? But utilize it every day. Use your strength to be of service to somebody else. So me, like I said, I wrote a book. Hopefully it helps people when I release it. Hopefully these podcast episodes with me speaking on them, hopefully that helps somebody. And just the content I put out. That is how I'm using my strengths. That's how I try to do it every day. I try to do something every day to utilize my strengths and to make people realize that this is the way that I believe we are intended to live with our strengths. That's why we're all different. Everybody isn't a good communicator. Everybody isn't good with their hands. But you figure out what you're good at, what you're weak at. Like I said, ways to do that. You can ask your people closest to you, coworkers, friends, family. Ask them, hey, give me 3 to 5 things that you think I'm good at. Just ask everybody. If you ask 5 to 10 people, yo, give me 3 to 5 things that you think I'm good at, I guarantee you, if you ask 10 people, you're going to find things that match. You're going to find things that, oh, well, these 10 people all said this. Like they said other things too, but they all said this, or they all said something in this realm. You know what I mean? So you'll figure it out. The same thing with your weaknesses. Yo, what do you think? Give me 5 things I suck at. Ask 10 people. And then like I said, don't be mad at them when they give you the things. Don't think they hating. Like you asked them. So make sure that you do that. That's one way you can do it. You can take the DISC assessment, which I highly recommend. I don't even know. I guess you can go to I think what is it, ETA.com or something like that. Or like just follow Eric Thomas on Instagram, so like that. I'm sure like it's in his bio or something. But I highly recommend taking the flight assessment. And then what's another way you can just figure out? Just pay attention. Pay attention to how you react and what you can do great, what you're great at, or even you ain't gotta be great at, what you're really good at that everybody else ain't. You know what I mean? Like, and you're not even trying. Like it's nothing for me to help my kids with their homework, or nothing for me to be like hop in front of a camera, in front of a mic. Like this is fun. This is nothing to me. It's nothing for me to speak to people. Public speaking, I never really. Let me put it this way: I never was shy to speak in front of the class growing up. Like that never bothered me. But I can't say right now if you put me in front of 20, 30 people and give a presentation, how I would react. I don't know. I'm not in that situation. But I can say that when I was in the classroom, I was never. It's just okay. I'm talking to people. Like I said, it doesn't. It's talking to people and communicating is easy to me. I can talk to anybody. I can hold a conversation with anybody. All I get, I don't know. It's the way my brain works. So, but yeah, man, just find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. Pay attention to how you act and react to certain things in certain situations. Pay attention to your body language. Pay attention to the problems you can solve that most people can't. You know what I mean? So those are the things that I would recommend for people to do to find out their strengths and weaknesses. And once you figure out, like I said, stay away from your weaknesses, focus on your strengths, use your strengths. Your strengths are going to lead you to your purpose, I believe anyway. And when you find your purpose, then you'll find your happiness, because of the simple fact that I believe our happiness is tied to our purpose. Because I wrote this book because I ain't gonna say because, but when I was writing this book, I forget who it was, but it was a dude. He was in like some movies. He was like a dancer. He was like the dude on Ellen DeGeneres, like on her show, the DJ or something like that. Like, but he was also like a dancer. He was in like all the dancing movies and stuff like that. I forget his name. Like, God forgive me, but but I'm looking dead at him. But anyway, he sadly self-transitioned. And outside looking in, I remember like it was a big thing. Everybody was sad. Outside looking in, everybody thought he was happy. He had a good life. You're on Ellen. You've been in movies. Like you have money, but something was off. But something was off. I don't know, but something was off. Another story. I think while I was writing this book, or like right before I started writing this book, it was like a chef. I don't know the guy. I'm not in that culinary thing, but I know it was a famous chef that did the same thing. Sadly, self-transitioned. So something was off. I'm not saying that their purpose wasn't to be a chef or wasn't to be a dancer on Ellen. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I believe when you are in your purpose and you're operating in your purpose, you're genuinely happy. And you're genuinely happy because you're doing something that is providing, you're being of service to people, and in return, you're getting blessed, basically, whether that be financially or just spiritually or physically. You're getting blessed because of the service that you're providing, and you're doing it with little to no effort because it's easy. It comes easy to you. So I'm not saying you're not struggling, because everything is a struggle. Everything is even a little struggle. You're going to face opposition. So there's always going to be that. I'm not saying that, but it's not like, I can speak for me. I've been kind of fighting this situation for a long time, as far as my strengths and weaknesses, all that. I've been fighting that for a long time, and my life ain't been going the way I needed it to go, or that I wanted to go, or I thought it should be going. Not saying I'm not happy. I have a beautiful family, job, pay the bills, and third. But I believe that when I start taking this serious, which I just started, basically, I believe in years, maybe a year or two, maybe longer, who knows? But I believe that my life is going to change drastically. And I think that I will be maybe genuinely happy. I know I'm already more happy than I was, let's say, when I started writing the book, because I'm content now with knowing that, okay, these are my weaknesses and I should stay away from them. But prior to, like, I was trying to fight that. I was trying to make sure that, okay, I got a house, I got kids, I'm a dad, I got a spouse. I need to make sure that I'm a handyman and I'm Mr. Fix It and I could do all this. But it was causing so much. I was breaking stuff. Like, I had to constantly pay stuff out. It just wasn't beneficial. So that was more of a struggle mentally and financially, but mentally on me than anything. I wasn't happy because of the fact that I wasn't operating in the space that I should have been operating in. So make sure you guys find your weaknesses, find your strengths, identify both of those. Stay away from your weaknesses. Don't take jobs. Don't do things, any opportunity that involves your weaknesses, outsource. And if you're trying to start a business or something like that, and it involves your weakness, outsource it. Find somebody else that's their strength. Trust me, it's going to make things way better down the line than you trying to do it yourself. So identify your weaknesses, identify your strengths, and then follow and focus on your strengths. That's going to lead you to your purpose 9 times out of 10. So I've been rapping for a minute now. I know we're trying to keep these little podcasts short because just me, but hey, I'm happy that you guys listen. If you made it this far, thank you. And yeah, hopefully this helps somebody. And I would like to thank you guys for listening. See y'all next week. Stay blessed. Stay authentic. Peace.